With the Mini 3 on the way, should you wait to buy a new drone? Hey, my name's Jake and I create content here to help solo creators on the go. This is not my normal environment, I'm traveling, but I do want to talk about the Mini 3 and why you might want to be waiting. The Mini 2, which is the drone I have with me right now for traveling with, has been my favorite drone to recommend for people because it's super solid, it flies great, but the Mini 3 is going to have some pretty substantial upgrades. Now, before we jump into this video, you need to know that I don't have a Mini 3, DJI doesn't send me their drones, at least not yet, and I am only making educated guesses based on what I've used of DJI's drones in the past and currently, and what I've seen in the leaks that have been online so far. So the first big upgrade I think they're going to make is image quality. I think we're going to get a 1/2-inch sensor in the Mini 3, which would be great because you get better low light performance. But not only that, I think with the 1/2-inch sensor, I'm assuming it's going to be the same sort of 1/2-inch sensor that was in the Air 2, which means we're probably going to get 4K 60 and maybe 4K HDR, which would be fantastic. And then in the photo department, you still have that 12 megapixel photos, which are nice, but I think also they'll do that 48 megapixel still because it might be that quad bay or 1/2-inch sensor. So I think we will see a pretty good bump in image quality, which will be nice for anybody who does a lot of flying, but you want to stay under that 250 grams. Another big upgrade that we're definitely going to see is it has some sort of obstacle avoidance on the front. There are some sorts of sensors on the front, so I think not only will we get some pretty decent basic obstacle avoidance for forward flight, maybe there are sensors in the rear too, but I think we'll get some active track features, which would be fantastic because that has been the biggest downside of the Mini 2 and the Mini 1 is you can't really do active tracking unless you use a third-party app, but then you risk crashing into anything because there is no obstacle avoidance. But if you're somebody who just wants to stroll down the beach or take a little walk or a little ride on your bike and have the drone track you from behind, having obstacle avoidance and active track built in natively with DJI will be a big upgrade and a big bonus for people who fly these small drones and who want that capability in a small, inexpensive drone. The next upgrade I think we will probably see a little bit is a bump in flight time. I don't think it'll be a lot. I think we'll maybe get 35 minutes according to DJI, which really is probably 4 or 5 minutes less than that. But I do think we'll see a little bit of a bump in flight time. And based on the way the gimbal is shaped and everything else, I think we'll see a bump in maximum speed while being able to keep the gimbal level. And of course, I think we'll get a much higher rotation upward angle, which would be great because if you can fly a little bit faster with that drone and keep it level, keep the gimbal level, it really opens up a lot of creative possibilities for what you can do with that drone. But based on the way the gimbal and the guard and everything around the gimbal in the leaks that I've seen, I think we might get a little bit higher top speed. I definitely will get a little bit better upward angle rotation, but I still think we'll be in that 30 to 35 minute flight time. Now the drone is going to stay under 250 grams, which is great if you fly in places that have a lot more restrictive regulations on drones. A lot of times the 259 grams or 250 grams and lower gives you a way to not skirt the regulations but not have to deal with as many of the regulations. Now one thing I do hope is that with the prop guards, if it can stay under that 250 grams, the 249 gram range, then it will qualify for the FAA Class 1 flying over people drone, which would be tremendous and just absolutely fantastic. We'll have to see if that holds true. And the last thing, obviously, is the price. I think there will be an upgrade in price. Now, I think we might have an option to stay with a lower price model that comes with the kind of standard remote that we've seen on the last few generations of DJI drones. But obviously, there is a version with an RC Pro Lite, is what I'm calling it. An RC controller with a screen built in. I think it'll be basically the same standard controller we've had, but with the screen built in, which honestly I would welcome because I love flying without having to plug my phone into the remote. It just makes it a lot faster, a lot easier, a lot simpler to set up when everything's kind of built into the system. It's the reason I use an RC Pro with my Mavic 3 and my Air 2S. But that also is going to come with a price hike. So I think we'll probably see the base model price probably in the $450, maybe $500 range, US dollars. And I think that could go up to about $1,000 depending on the package. I think there'll be a Fly More package, and then I think there'll be the Pro package with that new remote that we've seen in the pictures. and I think that'll be around $1,000. That feels really expensive for the small drone, but I still think it's going to be a great beginner drone. All that comes down to, should you wait? Yeah, I think we're going to see it released here the end of this month at some point, or between the middle and the end of this month, maybe early May. I don't have any hard evidence on one way or the other, but I think it's coming. It's pretty obvious. There's been lots of leaks, and so that means something's on the horizon, something's imminent. So if you can wait a couple of weeks before you buy a drone, you'll still be able to buy the Mini 2 at lots of places. Still a fantastic drone, but best right now to wait and see what else is going to be out there and what the other options are. Also, you might be able to get a nice bump down in price on the Mini 2 and save yourself a little bit of money if you don't need the functionality and the image quality that comes with the Mini 3. Now, if you want to see other ways you can improve your drone videography and photography, click or tap right there. I'll see you in one of those videos as always. If you have questions, ask me in the comments below, or you can join my live stream, which happens most Wednesday nights from 4 p.m. Alaska time and 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'll see you again soon in the next video. Cheers.